What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a brand new edition of the Chris Stevens Writes YouTube channel. Of course, you know who I am. If you're new to this channel, welcome aboard. My name is Chris Stevens. I'm a sports writer, a music lover, a car nerd, a amateur analyst of things, music, sports, culture, society, all of that good stuff. All those things you can get on this YouTube channel. So if you are new, I invite you to subscribe. Tap the notification bell to be notified of all the new content that drops on this channel. And if you are a returning subscriber or lurker, I say thank you and welcome back. And don't forget to like and comment on these videos because that gets the algorithm to pop. More people can see the videos, more people can share their opinions, more people can watch these videos, and this channel can grow. As I told you guys in the previous episode, and I got the numbers wrong, tell you how bad I am in math. I'm at 67 subscribers currently. My birthday is September 25th. So the day this comes out, this will be August 6th. So I have 50 days to get 33 more subscribers. I want to get to 100 by my birthday. I may go live on my birthday. Not going to do anything too extravagant because obviously, it's just going to be me here, reflecting on the year that I had, reflecting on the year that hopefully is to come and all of that good stuff. But even if I don't go live, I still would like to get the triple digits in subscribers. So be sure to subscribe to this if you're new here. Also, you can follow me on all social media channels. All that information will be in the description below, as well as my contact email if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions. I'm open to suggestions. So I'm still starting out at this, so I'm not too big to not listen to anybody. I still want to hear what people have to say that isn't overly disrespectful. Let's put that out there because I had a couple different folks, come on this channel talking crazy, and then I had to check them. Shout out to the late, great Charlie Murphy. But overall, it's been a positive experience here on YouTube, and hopefully it remains as such. So this week on the Chris Stevens Writes YouTube channel, this might not be the last video of the week. I say this all the time because I want to keep you guys invested on what I'm doing on this channel. And I'm seriously considering doing a second video this week. The second video I did last week was like a complete accident because it was breaking news, and it was a story that I had been holding on to for years. And I kept saying on social media, I said, I'm gonna tell you about the time this dude followed me in my inbox talking crazy about me as a journalist and all of that. And then I was like, all right, okay, considering the foolishness with NABJ, now's the time. Now's a good time to go ahead and, tell it like it is. And that's what I'm gonna do on this episode about NABJ inviting 45, high blood pressure Hitler, Orange Julius, whatever nickname you got for him, to the NABJ convention. It went about just as much as you expected, poorly. And anybody with two eyes, matter of fact, Ray and Stevie could have seen that this was going to be an absolute dumpster fire. And for anybody who, in NABJ, for the most part, tweeted through it. And Ken Lemon, the executive director, this was more about him raising his profile than NABJ's profile, because NABJ's profile, I won't say it's in the dumpster by any stretch of the imagination, because people are still going to go to conferences. People are still going to support, but people are going to look at this organization a little sideways now, because this was absolutely unnecessary. I didn't even watch all of it because, first of all, dude got on stage an hour plus late because he swore that NABJ had technical problems. But it was the fact that he would not allow them to live fact check his lies, because he lies as much as he opens his mouth. This is a dude that if he were to tell you the sky is blue, you need to go outside and check if the sky is blue. And he wouldn't allow people to fact check his lies. That's what took him so long to get out there. Then he said that the moderator, Karen Scott, was nasty, and that's his word for women, because he feels like anybody that questions him, anybody that has, criticizes him is nasty, because he doesn't believe that he has the right to be criticized. He doesn't have the right, people don't have the right to criticize him. People don't have the right to fact check him. People don't have the right to push back on his lies. And he says that about women all the time. I mean, nasty. I mean, it's just like, it's his buzzword. Of course he means harm. I guess it's one of those things where if you're a person of a certain age, nasty used to be like the worst thing a person could be. Now it's like, now it's a joke. Like, you're just using old terminology because you're old as hell. You're delusional as hell. And this is your buzzword to try to, stop people from checking you. That's what it was with fake news and all of that good stuff. Whenever something doesn't go his way, it's either fake, it's nasty, it's rigged, Joe's asleep, Kamala's crazy, all of that bull. You mean, this is who he is. And NABJ still chose to platform him in a room full of black journalists. Mind you, black people are not a monolith. Black people invented intersectionality. Make no mistake about it. I mean, you had black immigrants in the room. You had black people of different genders in the room, black people with different, sexual preferences, orientations in the room. And this was a dude who has literally committed his life as a elected official, and I use that term loosely, to take away every right that LGBTQ people have, that people of color have. They don't even want immigrants in this country. They're talking about getting rid of birthright citizenship. And even though most of us came over here, most of our ancestors came over here on boats 400 years ago, who do you think that's going to affect as well? I mean, yeah, we might be 3, 4, 5, 6 generation Americans, but we're not what they consider real Americans after all this time, after all that we've built in this country. We're not real Americans to them and his people. So if y'all think that voting him back or not voting and letting him get back in office is just not going to be the catastrophe that everyone is forecasting, you're sadly mistaken. Once again, I'm voting for Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris could pick a broom as a vice president. I'm going to sweep with it. That's the bottom line, because harm reduction is a thing. As Baldwin said, holding off the inevitable, or holding off, or trying to hold it off to where a point change can come, is a thing. So I'm not going to sit here and, pretend that whoever Kamala Harris picks as her vice president is going to be perfect, because there's no such thing as a perfect candidate. There's no such thing as a perfect person. There's no such thing as a perfect politician. Yes, people can have their feet held to the fire. Make no mistake about it. But if people are just going to sit back and say, oh, this person doesn't need to be here, oh, this person is going to cost her the election, then you weren't going to vote for her in the first place. You were just looking for a reason, and you found your reason. Congratulations. But the rest of us, we are voting to save our bacon. And that's the bottom line. And what's crazier still about his appearance is that, as you notice, the title of this particular video, Identity Crisis, I'll get into that right now, is that he alleges that Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, just all of a sudden turned black. Never mind the fact that her father is still very much among us. Yes, her father is still among the land of the living. A Jamaican national named Donald Harris, a professor at Stanford. So it's not like, it's not like Barack, not to make, not to even, try to, split hairs here, but it's not like Barack Obama, where his dad just went back to Kenya and totally forgot about him and then died in a car crash and left the kid at 21 years old, as the child of a single parent. But, Dr. Donald Harris is still with us. So, you're going to tell that man he ain't black? You're going to tell him his kids ain't black? Yeah, okay. And I think that's part of his, he's absolutely crazy, but there's still some instances of him being crazy like a fox, because the polls were absolutely ecstatic over Kamala Harris taking over the Democratic nomination for Joe Biden. And now people are still excited, but now they have to fight this fight of whether she's really black or not. And this is the same thing he did with Obama, with, show me your birth certificate and all of that. It's almost going back to the slave days, like, where's your freedom papers, boy? That type of shit. And people don't seem to think that, those of us who know that it's absolutely insane, but those of people who are just like totally ignorant to it are just like, oh, wow, that's not anything unreasonable. We need to know who you are. No, you don't. But if you can't see that in a country where mixed race people have been the thing since the beginning of time, and that was by force in the beginning, because the Pilgrims came over here and took indigenous women against their will. When they brought Africans over here, they took African women against their will, enslaved women against their will. So mixed race people have been a thing since the beginning of this country. And now people are going to pretend like they don't, this is a new thing for them. And it's nonsense. And the more time we spend on frivolous stuff, the more time this dude can kind of sort of build a defense for himself, or build himself for a game plan. And his game plan is already being exposed, because Musty, the dude that runs the social media app, has been discovered, creating a website that doesn't register people to vote but takes their personal information. That is election interference. That is a federal crime. And somebody needs to bring him up on charges immediately. Take all the Teslas you can take. Whatever. Because it's clear they're going to try to steal this thing again. They're already planting the seeds because once again, every time something doesn't go his way, it's crooked, it's rigged. It's, people are out to get him. Got a question for y'all. I have never been shot. Lord willing and the creek don't rise, it never happens. But if you're shot by a bullet, why don't you have any scarring or anything of the sort 3 weeks later? I'm just asking a question. Nobody has access to plastic surgery that quickly. Nobody. And it's funnier still that people of his ilk complained about masking up all the time. These people were wearing tampons on their ears at the Republican National Convention. An unserious group of people. I think that's what bothers. I think that's what irritates me the most about white supremacists and white supremacy is you hold yourself up to be smarter and brilliant and better than everybody else, but you're just as dumb as a box of rocks inside and out. And we see it, and we know it. And y'all know it too. That's probably what hurts the most is that you know that you're inadequate. You know that you're not real. You know that you're not relevant. You know that you scare people just through the sheer fact that you have 400-year head start on your side. But we know you're all idiots. Just a matter of whether we can stop y'all from being idiots that pretty much hasten the end of this society as we know it. That's the only thing. Hopefully we do. And speaking of identity crises, the Olympics has been an interesting little piece of business from start to finish here. Definitely love that the gymnastics girls have taken over. The gymnastics girls have always been like the Olympic sweethearts. Going way back to Mary Lou Retton when I was a down to here. Nadia Comaneci before I was born. But now we're seeing black faces and faces of color in girls gymnastics. You have the legend, the GOAT, Simone Biles. You have Sunisa Lee, who has overcome so much. And these are all Americans. And of course, you have Rebecca Andrade from Brazil, a black woman from Brazil who became the first Brazilian gymnast to win a gold medal. And we all know Brazil gives more of a damn about soccer than they do about any other sport. So for her to come out here, and she's torn her ACL on 3 separate occasions. Let me tell you something about Chris Stevens. I've only messed my knee up once, and it has not returned to form. And this was over 20 years ago. You won't see me flipping. You won't see me grabbing. You won't see me on the balance beam. You won't see me on the uneven bars. You won't see me on the floor exercise. You barely lucky to see me running. People who know me around town know that I run, 3 or 4 days a week. And y'all are lucky to see me do that. You see me do that at a slow pace because this knee is shot. I couldn't imagine blowing out my knee on 3 separate occasions and still saying, I want to do this. And Rebecca Andrade deserves a ton of credit for getting herself back out there and making herself a champion. If you haven't seen the clip, if you haven't seen the picture yet, please look it up on social media where Simone and Jordan are doing the bow to Rebecca as she takes her place at the gold stand for the floor exercise. It happened on Monday, early Monday morning. That's the one thing about time zones, man. You miss the good stuff when you sleep. And that was dope. That was awesome. If you haven't seen it, please go look it up. It's a beautiful image. Absolutely beautiful image. But yeah, well, speaking of identities, there is a boxer from Algeria named Imane Khelif, and she's a woman boxer. But for the last 4 or 5 business days, she's been called a man. Yeah, we're back to this again. If you don't remember Caster Semenya of South Africa, she had elevated testosterone levels in XY chromosomes. Still very much a woman. But the elevated XY chromosomes and her strength and her prowess had people thinking she was a man or a trans woman. Same thing has happened to Imane Khelif. And Imane Khelif is boxing for a gold medal, if not by the time of this recording or by the time this will have been recorded and disseminated for you guys to watch. And It's more ignorance. I mean, we talked about the I just talked about the ignorance of racism for a good 5 to 10 minutes. The ignorance of sexuality is probably worse because nobody seems to understand that science is a thing. Outliers are a thing. And people who identify differently have been a thing or have been people forever. There's no evidence. I mean, there's too much evidence to suggest that, you know, same-sex love, you know, trans, different gender IDs is something that's new. Something that's been going on forever and a day. Forever and a day. I mean, I remember there was the tennis player, Dr. Renee Richards, who was a trans woman who competed in the 70s. I mean, I don't remember because I wasn't born until 1981, but I remember people talking about it as I got older and, you know, started to, you know, be curious about, you know, different things. I mean, different gender IDs, because I mean, it doesn't say anything about you as a human being if you're curious to learn about other people, regardless of how you ID. You know, you can't let, you know, what people think about you or what people are going to say about you stop you from being a good citizen or trying to be a good citizen anyway. I mean, we're all trying. I mean, some of us anyway are trying to do better every day. We should be anyway. And what's happening with Imane Khelif is nothing short of criminal. For one, the Boston Globe did not correct that, you know, she was not the headline was big as day. Transgender woman wins boxing match. And then they ran a brief, ridiculous social media post a whole day later. And the people that still read newspapers, they ain't got Twitter. They ain't got Facebook. They ain't got Instagram. They ain't got TikTok. They still reading that newspaper. So if you think they were going to see that apology on social media a whole day late and a ton of dollars short, you are sadly mistaken. It's gross, man. I mean, people are way too concerned about the way other people live their lives. If everyone is a consenting adult, it does not matter at all. Me, I know who I identify as. I am a cis heterosexual black man, or C-Shay. I'll never forget Kev on stage. That dude is awesome, man. I mean, Kev is one of the great, you know, clean comedians, and he's doing work with women comedians. He's got this I don't know if it's a production company or I don't know what you call it. I mean, an event firm or whatever, where he's giving women comics whole stand-up specials. Like, Kev is a solid dude. But when he came on social media that day and saying, "Is it C-Shay? C-Shay?" when talking about cishet, it was one of the funniest fucking things on the planet. And I mean, Kevin's probably not going to see this because I cussed. But, you know, I mean, it was one of the funniest things on the planet. But this is how we learn. This is how we learn about other people. This is how we learn how to address other people. This is how we learn that people have pronouns. And people, what's funny is we learned about pronouns in grammar school. They, them, he, she, his, hers, theirs. This ain't nothing new under the sun, dog. It's not. And because you just want to be an asshole about it, it just means that either you didn't pay attention in class or you're just being a dickhead about it. Probably both. Likely both. So you're useless. You're a useless human being. If you can't address people the way they want to be addressed, you're a useless human being, and you don't deserve the satisfaction either. It is not hard to call somebody by how they want to be addressed. I watched the WNBA a lot. And Laisha Clarendon, she played, see, there I go. See, I corrected myself though. They play for the Los Angeles Sparks. They consider themselves non-binary, which means they don't subscribe to either being a male or a female, or they are just them. So it's easy to just figure out, that's why people put their social media, they put their pronouns in social media now. And there's nothing wrong with it. Because, I mean, there could be people who feel like, they identify as a woman, identify as a man, or they don't identify with any particular gender. There are people who are asexual, who don't really, there's nothing there for them, regardless of who it is. And I had to learn the hard way about other, things such as demisexuality. There's something that irritated. This is not me being disrespectful towards people who are demi, not at all. But I feel like Yeah, I might save that story for another episode, but I mean, it's nothing super ridiculous, but it's something that, you learn. I mean, some one of those live and learn situations. But yeah, going back to Imane Khelif, what's happened to her is disgusting, flat out. And anybody who seems to believe that, there's a good reason to put people under a microscope because you don't understand them, it's nasty, it's gross, and it's unacceptable. And this is why we need more modern citizens and younger people and more worldlier people to push back on these archaic notions of race, gender, sexuality, science, ethnicity, all of this stuff. We just need to get younger in the people who are mover thought leaders and politicians and all of that. Because the longer these old people like 45, Cecil Turtle, and others keep hanging around, Bleach Bond Bad Built Butch Body as well. Shout out to Jack. Oh, God. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett from Dallas, Texas. Whew. Respectfully. Yes. Whew. Yeah. Twice on Sundays, yes. Okay, got that out of the way. But yes, we need to get younger in politics. We need to get younger in policy making. We need to get younger in thought leaders. We need to get younger with respect to people who are teaching and all of this stuff, because we still have a bunch of old farts out here who think that the old way is the best way, and the old way died a long time ago. So yes, we need to keep getting younger. We need to keep getting more involved. We need to keep getting more open-minded. We need to keep getting woke. We need to keep getting DEI. We need to keep getting CRT. Y'all may not like it, but people ain't going to stop. And people who are committed to a better world are not going to stop. And you might just not be a part of it. Tough nuggets. But yes, Imane Khelif, I hope she wins the gold medal. And I hope she flips everybody off when she does it. Because this has just been like galling. And just how people have just violated this woman's privacy. I mean, her dad had to get on, one of these foreign language networks and say, my daughter is a daughter. Like, bro, we can see that. Enjoy her success. Fuck these people. Seriously. They can all take a long walk off a short cliff. That's my favorite saying, in case you haven't noticed. But yes, I hope Imane Khelif wins the women's boxing gold medal and flips everybody off at the podium. Because she will have earned it and she will deserve it. And I hope she sues every outlet that has. I hope she sues the Boston Globe. I hope she sues Pat McAfee. I hope she sues that dickhead Logan Paul. Take every dime they got. Put them in the poorhouse. Make your family richer. You have my support. And that's pretty much all I wanted to talk to y'all about. I mean, damn, I was on a roll today. See, this is what happens when you get focused on the things at hand, because, man, this has been a busy July. August is starting off busy. Like I said, I may have another video for you guys this week. So keep, stay tuned. Stay tuned, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So thank y'all for watching this edition of the Chris Stevens Writes YouTube channel. Greatly appreciate your time as always. Contact information will be in the description below, as I said before. If you're new to this channel, once again, don't forget to subscribe and tap the notification bell to be notified of all new content that drops on this channel. And if you are a returning subscriber or a lurkers, I want you to subscribe, please. Remember, 100 subscriptions by September 25th. 33 subscriptions in 50 days. I know we can do it. And don't forget, again, anybody, lurker, subscriber, newcomer, like and comment on the videos. I respond to you guys. You can go back and look through the comments of any video that have comments. I respond, is what I'm trying to say here, all the time. So, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it. Let's have a dialogue. Charles Barkley said we are going to start a dialogue. So let's start a dialogue. So thank y'all for watching. Until the next time we speak, which might be this week or might be a little later, but if it's this week, you'll know. Y'all be good or be good at it.